At least we got one prediction right today.
That's right.
We predicted the Thresh.
There is the Yumi, however.
They have the Yumi.
So there you go, the Just Yumi probably going to be full AP as well. But like I said, there's so many power picks open. I feel like when there's so many power picks open, you prefer to be on the red side. And there is the Wukong that you mentioned as well. You know, Kinzin is literally just Xin Zhao or Wukong, and that's it. When I was watching, you know, when we were watching Liberty games actually with Rafa before as well, you know, Kinzin is this sort of aggressive jungler. He loves to invade, he loves to go in for team fights, and this suits Liberty's playstyle, which is going to be a big clash of playstyles between these two teams, because Buriram, they like to play a little bit more slow. They like to play for the mid and the late game, whereas Liberty, they just go in for team fights and they don't care.
BRU has the Olaf Yumi combo, however, and we know how dangerous this can be. Liberty does have a lot of tools to still try and counter it. You know, this is still very early on in the draft, but Yumi Olaf, that's a combo that is always going to be painful. And indeed, they gave away the Wukong to Kinzin. He has 2 champions. You have 1 job. You know, don't let Kinzin play Wukong or the Xin Zhao, because he's gonna do a lot of damage on those.
I feel like also it might be just like, okay, maybe you can play it this game. Maybe you can. Maybe they want to try something out. Maybe they are trying something out. I do know that these teams, like, you know, I mean, sometimes they keep their cards close to their chest and they don't want to show their best hand right away. But I feel like on the side of Buriram, Yumi is a great pick for them right now. I am very curious to see who they're going to pick for the Baron later, because Noelle is also one of the amazing players. Oh!
This is an interesting one. The Ashe pick for boss. Now, I remember there was, I think it actually might have been Liberty. Rafa's going to absolutely slap me for this.
What's the worst Ashe I have seen?
No. There was a Brazilian team and a Brazilian player that loved Ashe, and Ashe was like the pocket pick, but I can't remember off the top of my head who it actually was.
He's yelling at you right now.
Oh,
I feel him.
I can actually hear him as well. We can't actually tell what he said. But yeah, I think Ashe is like a very strong pick in Brazil in general. I think it actually is Liberty, because I think it was the Ashe Blitzcrank bot lane that they played before in the Brazil region. So this is definitely a pick for Liberty that they've practiced before, and it's great to set up for the rest of the team with that aggressive playstyle.
So another pick to talk about is the Karma. Kona plays a lot of Karma in the mid lane. This is not necessarily a support Karma, if a lot of people thought that. Like, this Karma can be flexed into the mid lane, and we could see a different support depending on the draft. And Liberty is actually playing this draft very well into BRU, who are now known to draft very well. So it's interesting to see what these teams are going to be picking afterwards. So BRU still has another ban to go, and if I were in their shoes, I would have no idea what to ban out.
I think they actually missed. Oh, okay, it was just a graphic thing. So it was a Jason Darius ban, and then the Ziggs and Diana ban as well. If Freezer picks up Blitzcrank here,
oh,
I'm happy.
We would all be happy.
I don't think it's good though, because Lucian can dash away. Olaf can use.
There's no way they're gonna pick it here.
I don't think they'll pick it at all. You know, the Karma can still go in the support role, but as you said, Kona can also play the Karma in the mid lane as well. Then you've got Kinzin as well on the Wukong. This is a really nice draft at the moment. Garen, no
Freaks,
surprise.
Garen,
really.
Darius.
Yeah.
Yet again, like, these are the 2 champions, you know, that's the one weakness that Liberty does have, and BRU unfortunately did not necessarily draft against it. Sure, they banned the Darius, but then you have the Garen. Sure, they banned the Xin Zhao, but then you have the Wukong. Liberty is still sitting on like their big comfort pick, and Karma for Kona as well, one of his most played champions. And like, I just feel like BRU this time have not done a good job during this draft.
I think the thing is that, like, if you're on the side of Buriram, you have that Yumi Olaf combo. So Wukong's not really going to do too much against that combo, because the Olaf can just use the ultimate, and then you'll be able to just run through the Wukong ultimate if you want to. Again, Garen's not going to be a really big issue as well, because you've got the Yumi by your side. So I think they just want to deny the sort of, you know, the Xin Zhao for the disengage as well. But Shen and Ari, there's so much, you know, it's actually going to be a Lucian Yumi bot lane as well, which is
finally
a super aggressive bot lane. But I don't think that's going to be a whole breaker Lucian bot lane. Hopefully it's not, because finally it doesn't work. But this bot lane is really exciting to watch.
Finally, actual Lucian gameplay, right? And a Seraphine!
Wow!
There you go! That's the Seraphine! I don't believe we have seen a Seraphine yet.
This is the first.
Oh,
I haven't seen a Seraphine in a long while, actually.
I'm pretty sure Kona has played Seraphine as well in the Brazilian region, and this is what Liberty want. They want the aggression. They go for the aggression with the Wukong, with the Seraphine, with the Ashe ultimate setup as well, with the Karma as well. This is Liberty in a nutshell.
I think Liberty just outdrafted BRU.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not so sure, because it's like, I would think like BRU, they might allow the comfort picks, because like, you might as well play against something that you know rather than something that you don't know. So
It's all about the early game, I think, with this game. You know, if Liberty can get ahead, then they can stop.
against the 4th seed of the WCS, we've got Buriram United.
We're off to the races in game 1 here. I know the Mika and the gang were super excited about the Seraphine pick. I believe this is our first Seraphine of Icons 2022 as well. And one thing about Seraphine that I'm a big fan of, when it's not being played in the support role, when it's actually being played in the mid lane or even the Dragon lane itself, you don't have to itemize Seraphine as an enchanter. You can itemize her full damage, and not only she has some of the safest long-range, consistent damage in the game, but she also has some of the most obnoxious team-wide heals as well.
Exactly. Bro, the damage! Woo! Electrocute, baby! I mean, being able to fight toe-to-toe, level 2 on the Seraphine. We talked about that long range coming from this champion. And I remember when Karma was just released back then, so excited. But at the same time, Karma's just super duper short range. And what's the long range version of a Karma? Nope, it's not Sona. Or short version rather. It's a Karma. It's a Karma. Both of these two champions do the same thing, basically. They shield, movement speed, they set up fights, Transcendent Embrace, and the Encore, and they have it all. I love this pivot in the draft because look at the champions from BRU. They will like to dive you. And in the back, being safe is Kona on the Seraphine, just being that counter-engage against BRU.
And if you are a newfound watcher of Liberty, then you might be surprised by Manafritze looking for that early roam in the mid lane. However, Boss is left all by himself, forced to use the heal to not go down from that Ignite all-in from Buriram.
Yeah, this is incredibly scary to leave. If Boss is all alone, that's the go signal for Triple V and what the Jess should initiate, a dash forward. Meanwhile, Kona!
Oh, but Noel is super low as well. Kona going in with the long range damage.
Whoa!
Okay.
Oh no!
Well, it wasn't first blood technically. Kona going down was not part of the plan for Liberty, but no kill gold going over to Noel apart from experience. But that's a bit of an oopsie from Liberty.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, right? Because there was still a wave on the side of BRU, wasn't cleared, therefore Freaks unfortunately couldn't exactly tank those turret hits for Kona. And Noel just played that so well, dodging a lot of those scale shots from Kona.
I'm still reeling after what was, you know, we're not going to shy away from it. It was a little odd, but, you know, thankfully for Liberty, no extra kill gold over to Buriram. Unfortunately for them, they don't get to secure what could have been a very, very surprisingly nice first blood, but Noel back to full health. You've got Kins in here, looking for potentially a gank.
Noel sees this coming, and you can see that Archery is moving towards top side as well. I want to talk about the Ashe though, because the Ashe pick is usually put in a composition that allows 1-3-1. Usually you see it in Xin Zhao, or a composition that has disengage. But in this case though, we've got double enchanters. Usually when we see double enchanters, we see hyperscaling, but I don't see hyperscaling. It's basically Liberty wanting to overwhelm them with a lot of damage, with a lot of, you know, combo centric, because of Manafritze is going to be expected to build Staff of Flowing Water later, and that means spammable skills from Kinzin, from Kona most especially.
When we get in later and later to the game,
Later.
I want you to watch out for the Ashe damage.
That's the arrow though.
Oh, but Crystal Enchanted Arrow, that's one way to start a party. Woo! And no way to react. Liberty strike first blood thanks to Demacia and Justice paired alongside Boss's arrow from downtown. A Transcendent Embrace from Manafritze trying to lock down the rest of the members of Buriram, but they answer back with the final chapter, causing Liberty to retreat onto the safety of their tower. Arshini pressing forward, threatening lethal. The Stand United shield from Noah back into the base. Kona with a huge encore ultimate, but it cannot stop Buriram's onslaught under the tower. They're able to press forward, but in response, Kinzin takes a tower on the other side of the map.
There's so many delivery aspects on the side of BRU. Arshini Spear rushes forward. You've got Golden Peak rushing with the Ragnarok. Triple B with the dash forward, and you deliver not only a cat, but a ninja on your side, and this is just so flexible when it comes to skirmishes and diving as well up against Liberty. But just as you said, Rafa, they're able to get an exchange. And I love this pickup, the Hullbreaker for Freaks, to not only melt down these towers, but to be extra tankier when he's in the side lane.
Key for Buriram is that even though they lost the tower on the other side of the map, they struck first brick. So they get the extra bit of gold. So they're walking into these 2 objective points with an extra 2,000 gold advantage.
The sad thing about the CC that Liberty has, they've got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, everything basically in their favor. So when Colin Feed presses R, or rather presses Ragnarok, that's basically everything's going to be ignored.
Is he going to ignore this one? Yes, he does. Ragnarok forced to be used. Transcendent Embrace as well, forcing the members of Buriram back once again. Archony takes them and ensures that they are forced back into the chokehold, but it's Kinzen flashing forward for the Cyclone knockup. But Archony has a cat on his back, and yes, he goes down, but it's Buriram United that wipe out Liberty, taking them apart. It's only Freaks that managed to get out alive, but Buriram take the fight and even more.
They take the fight, they're going to take a tower, and they're going to take the dragon. They're taking everything away at the 6-minute mark, away from Liberty. The fact that it's an Infernal Drake as well, which scales so well, which adds a lot of damage. BRU already hurts to begin with, and that means they're primed and ready to enter this second fight at the Rift Herald.
And just like that, Buriram slingshot themselves forward from 2,000 to 5,000 gold advantage. And this is the scary part for Liberty. Back in our Coca-Cola pop-off, we take a look back at the replay.
I love this, right? Because it's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, just as we said, that Ragnarok's going to ignore all the CC in the world. He can easily reposition, easily cancel all that. But the play that I really love here, though, is Archony with What the Jets tag teaming, Spirit Rush reposition downtown.
Okay, Enchanted Crystal Arrow right into the encore. The high note, it's enough damage from Liberty. The pick is successful. Null is taken off the map. Liberty can snowball that into a turret, but because they invest so many resources on the bottom side of the map, that means Buriram answer right on back in the top side.
Yeah, this is so good for Buriram, right? Like, even though they lost Noel, they're still, just as you mentioned, be able to get these objectives, these towers, these structures. And guess what? They still have the Rift Herald. If they win a fight again, that means they can release it, unleash it in the mid lane, and open up the map even more.
Now, while Liberty are down 4,000 gold and Buriram are climbing ever so slowly ahead, I want to take this point. 7.5 minutes into the game, let's look at the members of Buriram who are insanely far ahead. Right now, my eye is on VVV. Almost 7,000 gold on this Lucian, about to hit 2 items. But you look on the flip side, and you know who's also at 7,000 gold? It is Freaks on this Garen.
Yeah, he's able to rack up a lot of gold. I feel like, you know, at that fight at the Infernal Drake, he wasn't a part of it just because he was, you know, trying to shove wave, and that's how he's garnered a lot of gold. He's 3-0 already, on his way to this Black Cleaver, and I feel like he could potentially be the answer. He's going to be extra tanky. He's able to just spin his way, damage everybody else from BRU, and he has execution power with the Demacian Justice. But I want to go back a little bit on this Ashe, because the way that using Ashe, sending a tower somewhere else, and then that's the time Freaks can kill someone. We'll see though, this could be a fight.
Rift Herald spawning in the mid lane from Buriram. They make their first charge into the second tier tower. 700 HP, a couple more auto attacks will allow them to further open up the map, and it makes it harder for Liberty to maintain control of their side of the map.
This is so good from BRU. The fact that they didn't have to win this fight. The fact that...
Whoa! That is the Spirit Rush into the belt. And an answer back from Kinzen is absolutely thwarted thanks to the Stand United Shield protecting Archony's valuable life. He gets out alive. A redemption from Freaks as he charges in. Looking for Demacian Justice if he can get it, but the root from the final chapter and What the Jets is able to keep the rest of the members of Buriram alive and safe. They don't get the turret, but they all manage to get out alive.
You can never let your guard down when you're in front of Archony. You don't know if he's going to Proto Belt forward, Spirit Rush, and charm you. And that is how they're able to start these fights. It's insane. The proactiveness that we're seeing now from BRU to expand the gold lead, to not care about what can potentially happen with the arrow across your face. It's fine, because this amount of lead, if Liberty starts a fight, BRU can take them off.
And Freaks continuing his split push. Still 1,000 gold ahead of Noel, so he has now the combat 1v1 advantage technically against the Shen. But you can't always just walk up with impunity. You got to make sure that you are coordinating with Liberty to make sure that you are always trading up on macro advantages with this Garen that is so far ahead.
We'll see if he does have enough space, because I feel like the moment that Freaks tries to get that split push down, the rest of the members from BRU is just going to follow through so easily. The fact that Noel can instantly make it into a 1v2 situation, but that's a good thing, right? Freaks is on the Shen lane at the moment, and he doesn't have to worry about the rest of the other members.
It's still a 7,000 gold advantage for Buriram, so they are feeling confident, but look at this. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Kinzin on the flank, VVV. He's got the movement speed thanks to what the Jest, though, and a quick cleanse ensures that he gets out alive. It's Cold and Feet, though, who's looking for a flank of his own. He's found Boss, and he's got a Ninja on the way, carrying him right into the base, but Liberty answering back. They've taken out the cat, but can they take out more? It's Shen Kinzin once again going down, and the rest of Buriram are able to fight on back to Liberty. Despite Freaks being so massive on this Garen, he's not massive enough to fight against the power of Thailand.
Yeah, unfortunately, right! Woo! Kona with a flash, almost getting Archony there. Really nice dodge, though. But I want to talk about, even though Freaks is huge, this Hullbreaker pickup means that he will be amazing solo, fighting 1v2, but not in a team fight scenario because of the Hullbreaker.
It's another dragon for Buriram. And as we are heading closer and closer to a game state where Buriram seem to be out of reach of Liberty, you look back at the draft that Liberty set up, and I don't want to question anything right now, but we know that Mana Fritze was so key on playmaker supports in their victory against Sentinels. On Karma, yes, it is an enchanter that gives you tools to shield and empower your team, but it doesn't give you the utmost agency, something similar like a Thresh or a Galio or even a Gragas.
You know, with the composition that they're up against, it's so risky to push forward. Because who's greeting you? This is a laugh.
Cold and Feet, as you called it out before, Riku, he doesn't give a damn about the CC when he pops the Ragnarok, and he's got a cat in his back pocket to speed him forward to victory. Liberty already losing on their Archer. Boss going down. It is a 4-on-5 as Buriram look to make potentially the final push in this game one.
Yeah, especially for Gerald.
Once again, Archony, Proto belt forward, Spirit Rush forward, finds the charm, has to flash out of harm's way as he doesn't take out Kona quite yet, but it forces the flash and it forces the Summoner Spell's advantage, and Buriram making the final march. The Rift Herald is charging in, a couple more auto attacks, 800 HP on the Rift Nexus, but it's not quite yet enough. Boss is back up, and Crystal Arrow, and now this is Liberty's time to strike. Wait! Freaks is split pushing on the other side of the map, the inhibitor. Buriram, if they can stop the recalls. Wait, I've seen this before. World Tour are no strangers to backdoor plays. They have two champions on the Nexus. It's a full minion wave. Golden Feet has to clear the wave. He has to stop Kona from being able to take out the Nexus. Oh my goodness, Liberty almost stealing the game right away from Buriram.
That felt like it. That attempt from Freaks, he had demolished, he had the Hullbreaker, he's able to easily melt down these towers and these structures. And BRU, or Liberty rather, they have a lot of wave clear. That's their best strength. Therefore, that protection for the Nexus made BRU, you know, unable to finish that game in general. This is so crazy. Now BRU has to keep watching out for topside, and they always have to eliminate Freaks before they can take prolonged fights.
For long-time Wild Tour fans, they remember back to the grand finals of TSM before their regional championship run to Horizon Cup. They remembered the base race that ended up taking one of the games that ended the series and sent TSM to Horizon Cup. Liberty almost making a similar situation happen, and Freaks, at this point, Buriram, they are well aware of Freaks' win condition this game. They said no more to the split push stream, no more to take in our inhibitors. We're sending you back to the fountain.
Yeah, that was the checklist, right? They don't have to worry about Freaks if he's eliminated.
And Kinzin taking a lot of damage from the backside. Coling coming out from BVV is very dangerous. Liberty on the run here. Once again, Archony fishing for a pick. Transcendent Embrace zones away Buriram United from being able to take out further members of Liberty. They are back on wave clear duty. But the fact that Liberty almost clutching out a surprise comeback from Buriram now has the Thailand team on the back foot.
That was insane. That could have been it. That could have been the big turnaround that Buriram United did not expect. But unfortunately, damage wasn't enough just yet. Is that protection on that Nexus? We'll have to see though. It's a very dark jungle.
Kona! He doesn't know! There's a giant Viking coming from the board! And he's got an angry cat there with the final chapter to sentence everyone from Liberty to death. Liberty trying to fight back with their kiting, with the range damage, but you cannot deal with what the Jess's signature Yumi.
You gotta love the adjustments that BRU is doing right now, right? The fact that they'll never leave that lane alone, top lane alone, wherever Freak's gonna keep pushing. They're fine fighting in a 4v4, 5v5 scenario because they're this far ahead. They want to make sure they have a lot of respect on Liberty's game state at the moment as well.
This Baron is gonna be uncontested. Freaks is on split push duty once again. He knows that when you are down more than 10,000 gold, it's not up to finding a miracle team fight. It's about finding a ways to stall out Buriram as long as possible to get them to take the eyes off of the minion waves pushing into the base. And the fact that Liberty are still holding on to a game that they shouldn't be. They shouldn't have a win condition back in this game is absolutely incredible. But Buriram now being more cautious in how they advance to close out this game.
Yeah, imagine a 14k gold lead on the side of Buriram already, having most of the dragons in the game, primed in position with their game state. But because of that Nexus open, because of Freak's pressure, it makes things really scary for Buriram. Like, is this a sure win?
Oh, and Channel Crusadero dodged out by BVV. Great relentless pursuit. Culling is opened up. Gets damage back onto the members of Liberty. Kinzen almost lethal once again is taken out. Monkey King is gone. Mana Fritza is gone. And the rest of Liberty are now sent packing. They're going to have to invest everything they have to defend against the 5-man push. This time Freaks isn't a... Why? He's going for a teleport. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my goodness, that gave me a surprise attack, but Buriram United say not even a chance. We take game 1.
It was a Baron buff. It was Baron buff versus, unfortunately, the Waves not prepped to get that backdoor in check. So Buriram United, you know, Liberty rather making Buriram sweat.
It made us sweat on the casting desk.
Something crazy like that.
No, I think Liberty could, like, you can see her steady, right? Like, steady going up. But that's the thing with Liberty. Next game, it could just be like a 50-minute stomp for Liberty. That's the thing with this team. You don't know what they're gonna do. They're inconsistent. They can be an incredible team. However, I'm not quite sure how good they truly are because they played against Sentinels. And again, right, like, Sentinels is nothing compared to BRU. Like, you can truly see the difference. And I hate to say it, but it's just SCA, man. This seems to be a strong region.
Yeah, I feel Digon, by the way, in the background. Just, you know, his heart slowly breaking.
He's giving
and
up
stuff,
death
right? Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be a different kind of massage, I think.
I was gonna say, the massage is not gonna be
It's
as
like, oh,
easy
no.
as next time. No, we're gonna go behind there. He's gonna be giving us a really rough massage.
Exactly. But you know what, Hals, again, Liberty may not have won this series, but oh my goodness, you know, a part of me almost wanted